Hi there, my name's Pete O'Dell and I'm the Director of the MA in Law program at the Law School, Sheffield. What I want to do this evening is talk to you a little bit about the School of Law, introduce you to some of the programs that we offer, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions that you have. Although I'll have to do it at the end because I'm afraid I can't see your questions as I'm going along. But do put them into the chat box and we'll be very happy to go through them at the end. So the School of Law at Sheffield, the first thing to say is that Sheffield is one of the elite sort of Russell Group universities in the UK. It's widely recognised. It's one of the it's in the top 100 law schools in the world, and has award-winning teaching. We're very much a research-led university, and the specialisms of my colleagues very much inform the teaching that goes on, and so people are predominantly teaching the thing that they're passionate about and hoping to encourage you to also be passionate about it. And one of the things that we also do is offer lots of extracurricular opportunities to help you gain practical skills, practical lawyering skills as part of your studies. So not only are the opportunities to kind of develop your lawyering skills included within the curriculum, but there are lots of opportunities that are available to you to sort of build up your CV, build up your skill set for the move into the wonderful world of work. The School of Law is in the top 10 law schools in the UK for research. From the REF 2014, there's a new REF exercise going on at the moment, and we expect to maintain our position. So what are the benefits in coming to Sheffield for Canadian students? Well, our LLB and MA in Law degrees are recognised by the NCA as satisfying many of the core aspects of the common law required to practice in Canada. One of the main drivers, I think, for Canadian students coming to the UK is that we don't ask for LSATs, and studying law in the UK can prove to be very cost effective and lead to quicker qualification for Canadian students who want to go back to Canada to finish their legal training and go into practice. One of the benefits for you guys is that you can study law in the UK straight from high school. So you can actually study it at an undergraduate level rather than do a first degree and then go on to study law as a postgraduate. Although if you already have a first degree, we also offer an MA in law, which is a postgraduate qualifying law degree, which enables you to go, into practice within any common law jurisdiction, pretty much. So even if you've got a first degree or not, we can cater for your needs and provide you with the sort of academic legal training that you require to go into practice. If you already have a law degree from Canada and interested in our LLM, we will be, of course, very, very happy to talk to you about that and encourage you to come over and study with us, because we have an excellent LLM program too. As I say, over the years, we've had many Canadian students come across to us, and pretty much I think they've all had a fabulous time in Sheffield. As Tony was suggesting to you, Sheffield's a fabulous place to be a student. Many of us have studied in Sheffield ourselves and loved it so much we got stuck and stayed. But the law school particularly is a very welcoming, friendly place. We like to think that when you come to us, you're part of our community, and we try very much to look after our own. And we've got some great opportunities, as I said, both inside and outside of the curriculum, but also with you know, an array of law societies that encourage you to develop your skills and build friendships and enjoy your degree. We have more than one law society. The main law society is the Edward Bramley Law Society, which pretty much welcomes everybody and anybody. We've also got BARSOC, which is of particular interest to people who want to go on to do advocacy as barristers and the like. We've also got a number of other more niche law societies, for example, the European Law Student Society, which encourages sort of a more European and international outlook. So our undergraduate courses, we offer, you know, a straightforward LLB law. We offer also LLB Law and Criminology. For those of you that have an interest in criminology, but yeah, want to get a qualifying law degree. We also offer an LLB European and International Law degree, which, as the name suggests, has a European and international bias. It's very much focused on introducing you to sort of the norms of European and international law. We also offer an LLB law with Chinese law, an LLB law with Spanish law program. Both of those have a compulsory year abroad in China or Spain to give you the opportunity to kind of study the more local aspects of those legal systems. And for those of you who might be interested in doing a straightforward criminology degree, we also offer a BA Criminology, which isn't a qualifying law degree. As I said before, the Spanish LLB law with Spanish law, the one with Chinese law, have a compulsory year abroad. So does the European and International LLB. So what would a typical LLB degree look like? Well, the thing that's different about Sheffield Law School is the amount of choice that we give students on tailoring their studies to fit their interests. What this means is, in your first year, it's entirely compulsory. We give you an introduction to the main areas of what we call the foundations of legal knowledge, so that you get to look at these subjects like contract, tort, land, equity, public law, criminal law and justice, and so that you can form a view of what kind of law you most enjoy, that you love. Because if you have to study lots of subjects which you find very dry and dull and boring, then you probably won't perform at your best. So by giving you a sort of general overview in year one of the sort of the legal topography, if you like, it means that when you move into years 2 and 3 of your legal studies, that you can tailor the subjects that you pick to your areas of interest, things that, you know, you're interested in, or that you might, you know, develop a passion for. So, for example, if you are certain that you want to go on to study or practice criminal law, you might specialize in criminal law, criminology, and associated subjects. If you were thinking that you might want to go into sort of commercial practice, then you could pick optional modules that looks at more commercial subjects like company law, sales of goods, things like that. So in year one, it's compulsory, you get no choice at all. In year two, you get 6 optional modules to pick from. So you can study pretty much anything that we offer, from, you know, environmental law, intellectual property law, company law, criminal justice, drugs, crime and control, a huge array of choice that we offer. So in year two, you get to pick 6 optional modules, and you can start taking some of the advanced foundation courses, such as advanced contract, advanced land, advanced equity, etc., to build up some of your knowledge in those foundational subjects. And then in your final year, you get, again, 6 optional modules to choose from. So after year one of the LLB, you get quite a lot of choice to design your law degree to suit your interests, your passions, and your abilities. The LLB Law, European Law, is subtly different in that in year one, although it's all compulsory, you look at principles of comparative law. And what that means is that in year two, you have less optionality, because in year two, we expect you to do advanced EU law, advanced issues in international law and foundations of international law. But on top of that, you'll get 3 optional modules to choose from. And in your final year, after a year abroad, you would have 6 modules you can choose from. So if you had a particular passion for intellectual property or environmental law, or more advanced international law options, then you could choose those. Again, a similar sort of structure with LLB law, with Spanish law, except that the core modules in year two are subtly different. You'd expect Spanish law and legal system and legal and political culture of Spain and Spanish-speaking world. In year two, again, in your final year after your year abroad, you'd have free choice of which optional modules you wanted to do. The LLB law with Chinese law, again, a structure appropriate to that, encouraging people to take optional modules in language so that they're better able to live in China during their year abroad. Again, LLB Law and Criminology, it's a blend between doing a qualifying law degree and an introduction to criminology. As you'd expect, there's quite a lot of criminology content which is expected, which again cuts down on the optionality. If you wanted to do a year abroad with your LLB Law and Criminology, then it is an option, but it's not compulsory. The BA Criminology, again, slightly less by the way of optionality, because it's very much a structured program to cover the basics of BA Criminology that you would expect to cover in any law school in the UK. In the final year, there are 2 core modules, and you have to do a dissertation, and in the first semester there's a dissertation preparation module, but apart from that you get 4 optional modules to do in your final year. What are the entry requirements? Well, in order to get into one of our undergraduate programs, you've got to hold an accredited Canadian high school diploma between 80 and 85% by subjects, in order to go directly into the first year of one of our undergraduate programs. The exact grade requirements might vary slightly from one province to another. Some subject specific requirements, my suggestion to you is, if you're interested, then visit our website, have a look. The URL is there, which talks to you about the specific entry requirements for Canadian students.
I was going to say, Pete, I'd also just add on to that, if you do have any questions about the entry requirements, I'm more than happy to help. Please just drop me an email and I can give you a detailed breakdown, as I know it's a little bit confusing, you know, working out grade equivalencies. So just, feel free to shout up if you do have any questions.
I was just literally about to volunteer you, Tony. I was going to say, if in doubt, drop Tony an email. I know she'll be very, very happy to help you. Probably falls slightly out of my area of expertise, though. Study abroad. Sheffield Law School is unusual in that we export about a third of our students in a given year. There are, you know, a range of opportunities. We have program partners literally all over the world. If you're coming from Canada to study, you might not be particularly interested in those, although some of our international students do take advantage of being able to do 6 months or a year abroad as part of their studies with us. One of the real benefits that we see in students studying abroad is that it really does help develop their lawyering skills. We see better degree performance from our students who've been abroad. They're usually much more adaptable, increased cultural awareness. The insights that they have into other legal systems really play out well with employers. So I think it's one of the advantages for Canadian students coming over to the UK to study law is that they go home with a broadened horizon anyway. Learning, teaching, assessment. I know you'll be very excited to know that we do some of all of those. There are approximately 10 contact hours per week. It will vary from week to week. Some weeks it will be a little bit more, some weeks it will be a little bit less, depending on the vagaries of timetabling. For undergraduates, we have, you know, quite a rich mixture of lectures, seminars, tutorials, which may or may not involve some group work or small group work. There's also some cafe-style teaching that's used, particularly in the first year, to try and encourage everybody to become part of a community of learners. Assessment is done through a complete array of methods, coursework, exams, mixtures of coursework and exams, dissertations, research papers. Clearly, at a university, the key to academic success is engagement and self-study. We believe in helping you develop as independent learners, but rather than just treat you as independent learners, we try and support you through that. So it's probably better to call you supported independent learners. We're very much into helping you develop the transferable skills of studying, researching, and writing about the law in a highly successful way. The postgraduate taught courses we offer, we have LLMs in International Law and Global Justice, Corporate and Commercial Law. There's an MA in International Criminology and the MA Law, which is a conversion program. So it's a postgraduate senior status qualifying law degree. It's the route that many students use who don't have a first degree in law to convert to studying law. The LLMs, they have an array of core modules in the sense that we expect you all to do legal research and writing skills because it's so fundamental to successful completion of your degree. And the other core module to draw your attention to is the dissertation, which is the triumphant flourish, the crescendo to your legal study. There's a good choice of optional modules, depending on which LLM pathway you choose. You're probably going to choose the modules which best help develop that specialism. So, for example, the LLM corporate commercial law, you're probably going to do some CSR, some corporate social responsibility, commercial arbitration, international trade, modules like that. If you were going to do an LLM in international law and global justice, principles of international law, humanitarian law, law of the sea, probably much more interesting to you. If you're more interested in a general LLM, then you've got choice of pretty much any module that's offered at LLM level, and you can piece them together according to your interests. The MA law, as I said before, is subtly different in that it is a postgraduate senior status law degree. It's designed to take non-lawyers and give them the sort of the academic law basis to go on to do further training in common law jurisdictions. The MA law, there is no optionality in the first year. You will study the foundational subjects pretty much in your first year. The first semester you be doing understanding law, legal systems, constitutional law and contract law. In second semester, administrative law, crime and torts. You would, in the first part of the first semester of your first year, be doing legal research and writing skills. Again, it's so important that you can find the law and then communicate your understandings about it, that we spend some time and effort making sure that you understand the fundamentals of it so that you can engage with the material fully right from the start. In the second year, you have a couple of core modules. You have to do equity in the first semester and land, law of property in the second semester. But you also have some optionality in year 2 of the MA. In the first semester of the second year, you can do 2 optional modules, and you can pretty much choose any modules that we offer to our third-year undergraduates. So there's a huge array of options, advanced EU law, punishment, penal policy, company law, international human rights, environmental law, intellectual property law, pretty much anything that we're offering the final year undergraduates in a given year will be open to you, subject to a few requirements, which probably best not confusing you with at the moment. In year 2, semester 2, you, as I said, have to do law of property as a compulsory module. You would also then have to do 1 option and your dissertation. The dissertation is a 10, 12,000 word piece of independent legal research. You can research any area of the law that we've got somebody competent to supervise you in, which is pretty wide. And again, the dissertation, is designed to give you the opportunity to really demonstrate the skill set that you've acquired while studying with us. MA International Criminology, there are some core modules that look at the basis of researching and writing about criminology, responding to crime, comparative penology, cultures of criminology, and then a range of optional modules so that you can tailor your study to your particular area of interest, for example, around policing or restorative justice, for example. The entry requirements for the MA law, you've basically got to hold an undergraduate degree from an accredited Canadian university. if you fall slightly short of our entry requirement, it's still worth putting in an application, especially if there's some sort of mitigating circumstances that you want to bring to our attention, because each application is looked at on its own merits. The LLM and MA International Crim, again, you've got to have a bachelor's degree, typically with, you know, a 3 grade point average or equivalent in law or a subject with sufficient legal component from an accredited Canadian university or college. Again, if you're slightly unsure whether or not you meet those requirements, I think it's as well to get in touch with us and ask the question or put in an application, because we look at, you know, each application on its own merits. So why study law at Sheffield? Well, you know, there are a lot of good reasons. We know what we're doing. We've got, you know, a lot of experience teaching law, especially postgraduate law. You get your own personal and academic tutor who's there to support your, you know, academic skills development and give you pastoral support if you need it. It's a good way of building up a relationship with somebody on the faculty, particularly helpful when you're looking for, you know, a referee for, you know, job applications, to have somebody that, you know, knows who you are, knows, you know, about your abilities, so that they can tell the world about it for you. The law school has dedicated employability staff who are there to help you develop and acquire employability professional skills, and also you know, to help you in the process of making applications for either further study or to go into the professions. We have qualified lawyers in-house who will sit down with you and look at your plans and the like, and discuss, you know, your career prospects with you. We also have a self-standing employability and skills initiative that's ongoing, program of events where legal employers and employers more widely come into the school to discuss making applications, the do's and don'ts, looking at some of the sort of the things that they might want to talk to you about in job applications and things like that. To help you boost your CV, we've got a wide variety of pro bono schemes. Free law is student-led under the, we have a qualified solicitor who supervises the advice, but basically it's a student-run community law scheme where people who have who need legal advice can come in, students interview them, they go away, research the law, consider the advice, write a letter. Obviously the solicitor, you know, looks at it before it goes out to the client. But yeah, in addition to free law, we've got com law and, you know, a variety of other pro bono schemes that you can get involved with. We also have an e-mentoring scheme in the university, so that if you want to be mentored by one of our many alumni, there's an opportunity for you to get, you know, plugged into the scheme so that you can ask them questions and be open to mentoring. We encourage you to moot. We've got our own moot court in the law school. We also encourage you to get involved in the extracurricular negotiation and arbitration competitions that are run up and down the country. So the pro bono schemes, com law, free law, miscarriages of justice review centre, We've also pretty involved with some external providers, support through court, victim support, witness service, citizen advice, etc., that you can get involved with to practice and help develop your transferable skills around lawyering, interviewing, advising, writing advice letters, etc. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about this evening. If you've got any questions, please do put them into the chat. I'll be very happy to answer them. My email wasn't on there, but if you afterwards, leave and you suddenly think, oh, I really wanted to ask Pete that, please feel free to drop me an email. It's p.odell@sheffield.ac.uk, or look me up on the website and it's got my email address on that. I'd be very happy to hear from you, as long as you don't expect an instantaneous response. I'll be very happy to answer any questions you have.